YouTube, Big Star 1000 here with another installment of Obscure Classics. This week a collection of thoughts on Workbook by Bob Mould, issued in 1989 on Virgin Records. Wonderful cover, isn't it? Before I launch into that, I want to say that I've just watched Tony Mr. Fight Boy 79's recent vinyl find just then, and he was thanking me for introducing Moo, the band Moo, last week in the Obscure Classic I did, the number 43, the one before this one. And I want to say that I'm really pleased that this series is being used by the vinyl community to inform some of their purchases, just the same way as I inform my own purchases by watching your videos, folks out there. What a great source! What a great source of knowledge, of information. And I've always said it, and I'll say it again, YouTube has got the edge on practically every other form of social media, because it's an educational tool. You know, you can't get education on Facebook, you can't get education on Twitter. Who cares about 5 words to describe how you feel today or your status updated? But YouTube has got this wonderful capacity to educate, and this is what I love about it. It's education, it's entertainment at the same time, and I marvel at the fact that we can meet such enthralling, wonderful people living on all corners, in all corners of the world. And I'm just really grateful that I'm able to be part of this vinyl community, solely because you're probably the only people I can talk about music at the normal level with. You know, I mean, most folk listen to the radio and the radio is shit, we know that. So this is my little shout out to everybody, and thank you, Tony, again. I appreciate the fact that you've picked up Moo from a recommendation, and I hope today that this will serve somebody. This is a masterpiece. Beware, masterpiece alert. And you're listening to it actually, so make your own mind up. Workbook was released, as I said, in 1989 by Bob Mould, and I came across this record at the store. It was hanging on the wall, and I knew the name instantly rang a bell. Bob Mould, Askadu, Sugar. For those of you who, I mean, seriously, in the vinyl community, I don't think there will be anyone who doesn't know Askadu. And if you don't know Askadu, check them out. Super influential, essential, hardcore, sort of post-hardcore, early alternative band from, I think, Minneapolis. I don't know if I'm wrong, but on the same kind of scene as the Minutemen and the Replacements. And Bob Mould was the singer, songwriter, guitar player in Askadu. They produced a series of really amazing records. New Day Rising, Zen Arcade, the sprawling double records, Candy Apple Grey. I mean, Askadu, man, it's, you know, it sells itself. And they disbanded, and after this, Bob Mould, the man himself, embarked on a solo career. This is his first solo record, he signed with Virgin Records and made this record, which is totally in opposition to the work he did with Askedu. You can hear it. This is not hardcore. It's a wonderfully reflective record. Okay, what strikes me first? Well, the first things I hear on this is the sound of the guitar, which is quite jangly, quite, you know, in a sense has a bit of a power pop tinge to it, without being power pop. It's something that's highly reminiscent of bands like, I don't know, the Throwing Muses or the Lemonheads or the Lards, perhaps, of the same period. I was also thinking of R.E.M. It's got this sort of jangly, late 80s, kind of its time, but timeless. And to an extent, I mean, if you go back a little bit further, you'll think of the Byrds as well. I think it reminds me of the Byrds, and in fact, I seem to remember that Askedu did a cover version of 8 Miles High, so I don't think I'm too far off there. The songs are, as I said, highly reflective. They talk mainly about the breakup with Askedu, very introspective songwriting. Top class though, top class songwriting, top class. Had a big hit on it apparently, well, you know, probably not old enough to remember. Well, I am old enough to remember. I probably didn't listen to radio enough to remember, but See a Little Light, which is the 4th song on the album, was a kind of a minor hit on the radio back then. But yeah, so you get this really beautifully echoey guitar, jangly. His voice, at times, I get echoes of people like Lou Barlow or, as I said again, bands of the time, the Boo Radleys. That's another example. Early Boo Radleys like Giant Steps. Giant Steps could be another obscure classic. What a fantastic album! Just, it's a phenomenal record, really. It is, from start to finish. It's got nothing to do with Askedu. It's not hardcore. It's gentle, not acoustic. I think it's mostly electric guitar, clean electric guitar, finger picked. A little bit of backing, and some wonderful songs. There's nothing I could say more about it to make it sound more appealing to you. If you like R.E.M., especially sort of mid-period R.E.M., we're talking Document and Green. Like, if Green and Document are you think, buy this. This is sensationally reminiscent of that jangle pop. It's what it really is. It is jangle, singer-songwriter pop. Okay, so it's indie, it's alternative singer-songwriter jangle pop. Am I going too far with the genres there? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this installment of Obscure Classics, and I hope you come back soon with another Obscure Classic. Workbook, Bob Mould, and also, well, if you like this, I mean, you know, feel free to check out Sugar as well. Sugar, especially Copper Blue, and I think Beaster is great, but Sugar is a great band too. After this, he recorded a few solo albums that got back really into more the heavier side of his songwriting. So this is like an oddity in his discography. Workbook, awesome. Okay, YouTube, thank you for watching.